You're listening to The Real with Rachel D on Atlanta's inspirational talk radio, Love 860. Hey everybody, and welcome to The Real with Rachel D. Happy Friday. So we're here to give you some celebrity news, some crazy stories that we found on social media, of course, and some things to get into in the weekend around Atlanta. I am being joined by my super fabulous co-host, Ms. BJ.
Hello.
And our super producer, Mr. Patrick.
Hey.
How are you?
All right.
Guys, it's the end of the week.
Yay.
Finally.
Aren't
you excited?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Well,
I'm ready. I'm ready to get an information.
Okay, so that's a good segue right there, because I was going to say, this weekend has been, our past weekend has been taken up with a lot of Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So, the Super Bowl with, who played? The Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. So, the Broncos did defeat the Panthers. So, we're going to get into basically Super Bowl recap. Mm-hmm. So, let's start with halftime.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that half of America was waiting for halftime, considering how the performers were Coldplay. Who? Okay. And Bruno Mars and Beyonce. Like, I do know who Coldplay is, but watching the show, and tell me guys what you think. You all watched it, right?
Yes.
I couldn't hear much of anything the Coldplay said. I don't know if it was the audio or something going on.
I was looking
I
at
think
his
that's
shoes.
just the way he sings. I'm not really a Coldplay fan.
Yeah.
But
like, you recognize some of the songs, though, from, like, maybe commercials.
Maybe one. Yeah, maybe from a commercial or something like that. But, yeah.
You couldn't hear nothing.
And I think it was bad audio.
Yeah, I do. And then you come, like, this right here. It's so funny because Coldplay just seemed like that odd. Coldplay seemed like the affirmative action, even though he was supposed to be the star. Because once Beyonce and Bruno Mars came on, it was like Coldplay. Remember when they did the dance off? I thought they were going to go from Beyonce to Bruno Mars to Coldplay. And they just went from Beyonce to Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
it's like
he wasn't dressed like anybody.
Yeah.
Coldplay, I don't think he has any dance moves. So.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the dance was great. We want to get into how, you guys feel about the new song Formation that Beyonce dropped 2 days prior to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Personally, it's not something I would dance to in the club, but I did like the message. And the music video, it's okay.
It's like a docu-dance-amentary.
Explain that.
A documentary. It highlights some parts of the flood, Hurricane Katrina. It highlights some parts of the Black Lives Matter movement with the hands up, don't shoot. It highlights how people like to go to Red Lobster after they get some good. It highlights
people do that?
Well, apparently, or whenever they do that Shrimp Fest. It also highlights, I guess, just Beyonce's roots, not her natural roots, but I guess the roots from her parents. So I'm just being honest. And I love the fact that her baby was there with the baby fro. And there's a little, to me, she said, like, I like my baby hair with baby hair and afros. Did she mean my baby hair or my baby air?
My baby's hair.
So baby's hair, because it's been a little, I'm like, I don't know. So, but yeah, I liked it.
All right.
Come on, Professor Pete.
I'll be the minority in this and say that, I thought the video was good. I wasn't really feeling the song that much when I first heard it. It kind of grew on me. But as far as like all of the, I guess, attention it's getting for being so, I just keep seeing people say unapologetically black or Beyonce so unapologetically black.
Right.
And I just feel like whenever it comes to Beyonce, people inject or just kind of put so much grandeur into what she does.
Right.
And it's just like, to me, all that message, if the message was there, it was lukewarm at best. Like, it wasn't that prolific to me. I mean, it was a cute song, but it was like, 2 lines? Like, she likes her man's nose and she likes her baby's hair.
Right.
But, I mean,
and hot sauce in her bag swag.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, it was more about being her than about being black.
Yeah.
I don't know why we dissect Beyonce's lyrics. Like, remember with Drunken Love? People were trying to dissect what watermelon meant. They were like, watermelon means the seeds mean sperm. And I saw an interview. She straight up said she wrote half of that drunk. And it's like, we over here trying to do some Harvard essay about why this means what it means. Right. And it's like, it ain't that big a deal.
The machine behind Beyonce is amazing.
Yeah.
Her PR needs a Super Bowl ring.
Well, if I can, we will circle back around to Cam Newton, but if I could speak on her team. You know, she fired her whole team, right?
Mm-hmm. They gone, child.
So what does this mean for Beyonce, including her cousin? They didn't name which cousin, but the one that we publicly know is involved is her cousin.
It's Beyonce, right? Her cousin's name is Beyonce.
Her last name is Beyonce. What's her first name? Something. But, you know, that's her cousin. Anyway,
Right.
So she fired everybody, including her cousin. So, you know, I don't know what she has up her sleeve, but do you think it's going to keep her afloat?
Well, I'm hoping so, because they said that she parted ways with Leanne Callahan Longo, who has been her general manager for 5 years, and she has now been working with Steve Pammin, who is the former head of sports and entertainment marketing for J.P. Morgan Chase, and that's a bank, so I know he gotta have like something.
Because I know like this album is supposed to be the last one under her record label, but is she officially a part of Roc Nation yet? If not, that's where I think she's gonna go.
Well,
Of
I'm thinking
course.
so.
I mean,
If she's not, of course, that's where she's going to go.
So I think that's what the move was about, just trying to be.
And considering,
closer to
is
that.
Rihanna not a part of Roc Nation?
She is.
She is.
It's Rita Ora that got out of her contract, or suing to get out of her contract. So there's plenty of room and money for Beyonce.
It sure is. Keep it in the family. Well, except for the cousins. Sorry. And your daddy. Sorry.
Absolutely. So let's go back to Super Bowl real quick. So Cam Newton, the Carolina Panthers lost. Now, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, but I was rooting for Carolina Panthers for many reasons. I mean, I feel like people don't want to be honest about why they choose to root for certain people. I mean, one, he's in our, I don't want to say district. There's another word for it, but.
Division.
Division. And look at you, Pat. Go ahead, boy. And he is a black. Let's just be real. He's fine too. I'm sorry, I'm superficial when it comes to that. But anyways, we did want him to win. And the Carolina Panthers, they went almost undefeated, but they lost to the Atlanta Falcons, which is good for Atlanta Falcons fan. But I'm not gonna lie, we were conflicted. We're like, dude, we losing like crazy. How do y'all go undefeated and then lose to us? Whatever the reason is.
Right.
They went to the Super Bowl. They did not win. Peyton Manning won. Not
Yes,
Peyton
the
Manning.
Broncos.
Was it Peyton Manning? And so, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about his brother Eli Manning, who was hating.
Oh, did you see the hate in that face?
Did you see the interview about why he was making that face?
No, what'd he say?
I didn't either. I was wondering if y'all did.
No, but did y'all see the memes with Peyton Manning? That was so good.
Yeah.
It was like when you got an A from your group project and you ain't do no work, and it had Peyton Manning right there. I said, you know what? That is the real. It'd be the main person who ain't turned in nothing.
Right.
That's just getting all the glory. Anyway, so back to Cam Newton. He is being ostracized because they feel like he was such a sore loser. He walked out on a press conference. And I have mixed feelings about that because, one, you know, they're going to look at your professionalism, but at the same time, dude, you lost the Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, can I just wipe the sweat off? Can I take a shower with some Axe deodorant spray before you ask me these questions about the Super Bowl? I'm just not in the mood.
Well, not only that, but I think that was the first time that they had interviewed the, I guess, loser and winner in the same room after the Super Bowl.
I didn't know that.
And
So-
Patrick's right. He could actually hear the interview next door
Right.
of what they were asking him about himself. So, I mean,
I
it's
love
kind of
that.
like putting the side chick and the wife together, and the people are asking, and you're hearing everything saying, like, oh, how is your husband? Oh, he's fine, and we're
don't
going
mind
out with the
being
kids. Yeah, and the
Benz.
side chick is on the side, you know, with her lobster from Red Lobster, just like getting jealous. But Pat's right, and that had a big reason to do with why. I mean, it was uncomfortable.
Wow, I did not know that, but that makes sense. And, you know, of course, just like people could say all day, it ain't about race. It's really, really hard to argue that when you look at situations like this. It's like that was the first time y'all chose to do that, and then you want to judge him on his attitude. Quite frankly, he acted like most of us would.
Right.
Like, even if you didn't walk out, you'd be upset. Like, imagine you get to graduation and they tell you can't graduate. You gonna sit through the ceremony? Heck no, I'm out of here. I don't want to be around y'all. I got some thinking to do
I'm
and
gonna have my
stuff.
phone playing loud. They, it's that. But you know, honestly, they were kind of hating on Cam before the Super Bowl.
Of course.
You know, dabbing, showboating, doing all this. And you know what? I read what he said, and he's very unapologetic. He said, "You know what? I'm a sore loser. So what? Sorry, not sorry."
I feel like you have the right to be a sore loser in that situation. I mean, granted, you are, like you said, supposed to maintain some level
Professionalism.
of professionalism. and you are being paid millions of dollars. But I mean, like, it's an emotional time.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to start all over again, basically.
And I feel like that's when people try to set us up for failure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, not to get too into the Black Power. I'm doing this for my big brother Chris, but it's kind of like, you know, if you're an African American or a person of a minority, if you're in a workplace and somebody gets under your skin or they attacks you and stuff, it's like you really almost have to really think about how you react, because you're going to be judged off of that. You can't just, they could pop off at you, but when you go to pop back, oh, you an angry black woman. BJ, you saw that attitude. She was rolling her neck. She was an angry black woman, but they will never be like, what did we do to get her to that point?
Right.
Or what did this other person do? So unfortunately, even though it's not right and we should have the equality, you know, you're going to get extra scrutinized. And with him being black, a man, and as big as he is, that's like, oh, intimidation. It's even worse.
But what gets me, there were two other big things going on in football outside of Cam losing. While they're talking about him getting upset, being a sore loser, leaving, you got, what's the guy's name? Johnny Manziel from the Cleveland Browns over there whooping up on his girlfriend like it's a rerun of Martin and Gina. I mean, it's...
Martin ain't never whooped on Gina.
They get into it.
Yeah.
I should say Ike and Tina. But they're not really mentioning that. Yeah. Then you got Marshawn Lynch, who has all this money. He just up and announced on Twitter, oh, yeah, I'm retiring. And he has not spent any of that millions.
Smart.
So, but here it is. That's kind of going by the wayside.
Of course.
And they're looking at Cam, who just felt bad about losing a really big football game.
Of course. Like you said, they've been hating on Cam since day one.
Yeah.
So, you know, they didn't want him to win. And, of course, I feel like he would have got it no matter what. If he would have celebrated a little too hard from winning, then they would have been like, he's unsportsmanlike behavior. And look at him dabbing and stuff. Like, he was destined to lose in this situation.
Well, even before, wasn't there a meme floating around with comparing him? Wasn't it Peyton Manning, where they were like, how they both showed up to the game, and Peyton Manning had on a suit, and they were saying that was professional, and then Cam had on like his
Scully,
his team
Panther. Scully, yes,
and they were saying that was unprofessional or that was thuggish. Yeah,
exactly.
It's crazy. I mean, no matter what some people do, it just won't. If you wear the suit, then they say, oh, he's trying to change himself. If you don't wear the suit, then you look like you just robbed a 7-Eleven.
Absolutely. So, guys, there is no winning in this, of course. So, keep it here to The Real with Rachel D, with Miss BJ, Mr. Patrick. We're here to give you guys some celebrity hot news, and we got more to the show coming up. So, guys, we have WTF. Where are they from? Missy Elliott. Keep it here. All right, everybody, welcome back to The Real with Rachel D. That was Kendrick Lamar, These Walls. We're being joined by my super fabulous co-host, Miss BJ.
Hello.
And my producer extraordinaire, Mr. Patrick.
Hello.
So, guys, we have a lot to talk about. So, Stacey Dash.
Yes.
That name has been in, you know, I used to be a huge fan of Stacey Dash. I mean, I was a Clueless girl. I loved the movie Clueless. I loved Stacey, and I loved Alicia Silverstone. But Stacey has been disappointing the black community for the past couple years.
Did you see her on Food Network? She has this new flavor out.
What is
Stacey Dash seasoning. It's like extra salty.
BJ.
we were talking about Beyonce earlier. I saw a funny meme where they were saying, you know, I got hot sauce in my bag. They had one that said Stacey Dash, or it was Stacey Dash, and they said, I don't put hot sauce on anything. I don't put seasoning on my food or something like that.
Hilarious.
I believe it. Like, I don't know. Did y'all also see on social media never disappoints? Like, you have to have a love-hate social media relationship.
Yeah.
Now, what's his name? Gary Owens from he was on Think Like a Man 1 and 2, the white guy, like the token white guy. So apparently the black delegation decided to trade him out with Stacey Dash, and I highly approve of this decision.
Yeah. I agree.
He's so funny. Anyway, so Stacey Dash, of course, running her mouth like always. Guys, did you know that they're making a new kind of, I don't want to say like a Michael Jackson movie, but it's kind of a docuseries, not docuseries, but like a document about when him and Elizabeth Taylor and one more person I forgot went on a road trip. And so they hired a white actor from London, from England, to play him. And so they're like, personally, a lot of people disapprove of this. I'm okay with this because they're focusing on a time period in his life where he was white. And so, of course, Stacey Dash thinks it's very appropriate because she says it's diverse. Whatever.
I'm kind of stuck on the fact that they're making a road trip movie with Michael Jackson
Thank
and Elizabeth
you.
Taylor.
With Elizabeth
this
Taylor,
sounds like a bad bar joke.
Marlon Brando, and Michael Jackson.
Yes.
I mean, it looks like a drunk uncle, a drunk uncle and two drunk aunties getting on the road. And I don't understand it. And Joseph Fiennes, who's the actor, he's a well-known actor, but who's sponsoring this movie?
That's crazy.
Of all the things to do, why this road trip?
I don't know. Maybe, it was iconic. Why? I forgot exactly why they said that they did it.
I have to know more about
it. It was either before or after September 11th.
I'm going to be honest.
And they just hopped it.
Yeah,
they just hopped on a bus and Elizabeth grabbed her white diamonds and
yeah, exactly.
Michael grabbed his leather and I don't know much. I mean, it's interesting.
No, I'm not okay with a white actor playing just because the spectrum of black or what black is so broad. Like you could find somebody that's even what Michael's complexion was that is still black.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So, black doesn't have to be Idris Elba.
No.
So
even though he's newly single, just FYI.
Yeah. I saw that beast of no nation. So, yeah, he should be getting an Oscar. But no, honestly, let me tell you something. Were there any black actors in this Gods of Egypt?
No.
Okay, how about the one where they were with Moses? Because I could have sworn Moses, there were no black actors, but what color were the slaves? Mm-hmm. So, and that's what I'm saying. It's plenty of people out there. You have lots to choose from. So let's just be appropriate.
And if being a white actor, like you can be so versatile and do so many things, how come it's not far-fetched? Or why is it so far-fetched to have somebody that may be a couple of shades lighter or darker than Michael to play Michael Jackson?
Yeah, diverse.
So, and also, the actor himself was surprised he even got the role.
Yeah, Joseph Fiennes. It's something, I bet you he was like, I'm just going to apply for this. And, kind of like how you apply for one of them credit card applications that come in the mail. And then when they call you and say, you got it? What?
I know, and then they tell you your limit. That'd be the...
Oh, yeah. Let me hurry up and spend this before they really check my credit. But if you flip this in reverse and have someone like, Chris Brown play a new documentary about Elvis Presley, child, it would just be an uproar. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't even let him into Graceland.
Yeah, so shout out to, he's already hired, so unless the actor turns it down, then it is what it is. Yeah. I just know one thing, homeboy, you have a lot of pressure. We watching you, and we are very judgmental, dude.
But does he even sing? Like, if it's a road trip, will Michael just bust out in song on this road trip? Or
I have no
What
idea.
is this about?
But I bet you it's going to get good ratings because we want to see how he does.
Right.
All right, so moving on, we kind of digressed because it's about Stacey Dash, but Stacey Dash agreed with it, of course, like she would. But moving on to another Hollywood feud, which that really wasn't. So remember last week we talked about Kanye West and his series of tweets that he just fires off when he's in his mood. Well, Wendy Williams went on the Wendy Williams show, and she, I don't want to even say throw shade. She was very honest and realistic about the situation. She mentioned how, Kanye, you're tweeting Wiz saying that he got trapped by a stripper, but yet guess who? Like, you introduced us to her, so it's like maybe she didn't have your baby, but you were involved with the stripper too. And did anybody know who Kim Kardashian was before that sex tape? Exactly. So Amber Rose wouldn't have been we wouldn't have known what she was. We would have known who Kim was because there was a documentation.
Right.
But yet you're trying to fire off these insulting tweets to Wiz Khalifa. So because Wendy was outspoken, then Kanye decided that he was going to include her in his diss track.
Right. Who goes out and makes a diss track about Wendy Williams?
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people have.
Yeah, a lot of people have.
But it's just such a waste because at the end of the day, Wendy is still going to be himself. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I misspeak? How you doing?
Everybody gonna quit on you, BJ. But yeah, like you said, Wendy Williams has been dissed by Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, Tupac, and recently Rick Ross.
Yeah, and a couple of them bundles because I've seen her doing the breaks.
I know, right? She looks so different. Like, I don't really watch her after shows, but like seeing her like not on TV and Vice on TV, she looks so
completely
different.
Completely different.
Lady. Yeah, so Wendy Williams goes, okay, so Kanye had put on his new song. I forgot exactly what he said, but he said little things that could have been taken as a little transphobic. He called her a dude in a wig, and which everybody has called her that.
She's
and apparently Kim Kardashian had talked him out of releasing the song because she said it was transphobic. Of course, not trying to insult her new, what do you call her? Stepmom, dad, whatever. Anyway, so Wendy goes on the Wendy Williams show, and she says, I've been around for approximately 30 years with a hot mic and an attentive audience. Thank God. Because of these things that I say and what I do, some of the greatest people in music have mentioned me in their music, which to me, in a sick way, is considered an honor to be mentioned by Jay-Z, Mariah Carey, Tupac, and most recently Rick Ross. So she didn't exactly name Kanye West, but we did hear clips of the song, and Kanye was talking about her.
All right.
So, they say it was shade. I don't. Like, that's what Wendy does.
She just tells it like it is.
She does. And so does Kanye, sort of.
I mean, and he just, you know what? Patrick, a few shows back, had always said, and I agree with you, I get tired of people jumping on Twitter in their feelings. Mm-hmm. When you're in your feelings, just turn your phone off, step away from the laptop.
Are you trying to say, take a minute. I do that, Patrick?
Or take a ride over there and talk to them directly.
Yeah, get in their face. I'm sure Wendy, sir, he packs a punch.
So yeah, hopefully all of that is good and done. It looks to be blown over. But one more topic before we go. So of course everybody knows that Blac Chyna is dating Rob Kardashian.
Yeah.
And Rob Kardashian's sister is dating Blac Chyna's baby's father, Tyga. That's messy. I wonder how Christmas dinner is with that.
They don't even get in the house.
Family. Step out.
Yeah, leave.
You got access to everybody, and this is what you do.
And y'all just keep going around the dinner table.
Can't you kind of see, like, the Kardashians, they're having a nice meal, but Rob Kardashian, he kind of just look like a ramen noodle dude. Like, he's just so fed up with dealing with his family, he don't even want it. Let me just stay in the beach house and just chill.
Exactly. They treat him pretty bad, so I don't know why they're coming down on him. But Tyga earlier, when asked about his relation or how he felt about Blac Chyna's relationship to Rob Kardashian, he said, okay. He's like, it's cool. He kind of played it off.
Right.
So now he's actually going to the courts saying that Blac Chyna is an unfit mother because when she got arrested to her trip to England, they found ecstasy pills in her bag.
Right.
So, I personally, I don't have anything with drugs and don't really know anybody who does, but I don't necessarily think that that's an unfit mother. I still believe that Kris Jenner did that because Kris Jenner saw her before she got on her plane.
Right.
And it don't take nothing to slip a little something in the bottom of somebody's purse.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be
and
honest.
Tip the police. Come on now. Why would the police search Blac Chyna out of everybody?
Right. But people like Tyga and guys that are in this position, a lot of times I don't see them trying to get custody of their kids from a place of love. I see it as a form of get back. Because, okay, let's just be honest. You get full custody of this kid. Okay, so you're taking your girlfriend and your son both to Chuck E. Cheese because there's not that much age difference. But a lot of the stuff you're doing now, that has to cease and desist when you become a full-time parent.
Exactly.
So,
But go ahead. Yes.
No, I was just agreeing.
But at the same time, look at the timeline. Your girlfriend's brother is your baby's mother's boyfriend. I don't think I'd want that. Like, I feel like Tyga was wrong for how he went about it. He was engaged to Blac Chyna, and you go and you date an underage girl and this and that. You had to assume people were coming for you. I did not necessarily think it would happen this way. I thought Rob had more family integrity to do that. But I feel like this is between her arrest, her possibly losing her kid. I think this is a way to try to break her, if that makes any sense.
So whenever you go for the kid, it's a deeper issue because now you're bringing the kid to the forefront. Yeah.
So I don't think she's going to lose custody. I really don't think that Tyga's in a position to try to say that she's an unfit parent, considering how you've been dating an underage girl for a couple of years publicly. But it is what it is, guys. You're listening to Real with Rachel D. Just a quick reminder for you guys to go on social media to show us some love on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. Coming up, we have Patrick's favorite song, Formation by Beyonce.
All right. We are back with The Real with Rachel D. And ladies, that was Queen Bey with Formation. Repping that hot sauce in the purse swag. So, I mean, I went to the store after the Super Bowl just to get some groceries because we were going to fry some fish. I could not find hot sauce nowhere.
Did you check somebody's purse?
I was like looking hard too. Child.
Wait, actually, now that you mentioned about something selling out, you do know that after the Super Bowl and after Beyonce released that song, that Red Lobster's biscuits went up like 30%.
I was telling DJ during break that also after the Super Bowl, the birth rates go up in the city that won. So I'm just saying.
Well, I'm glad Atlanta wasn't in there.
Child, and y'all know this weekend is Valentine's Day too.
So
yeah. I don't know if Red Lobster really takes reservations, but y'all might want to just get there a little early, and they might be checking bags because
they sell cheddar biscuits at Sam's now that you can make at home. So
I make them at home all the time, so it don't give me no extra.
Right, but you know what? How long? Honestly, people been carrying hot sauce in their bag for a while, and if you know the right person, they got hot sauce, ranch, 9-laters, comb, Ampro styling gel, a little hair glue, and they might even have a needle with some thread to hook up the edges.
Actually, I carry super glue in my purse.
Super glue?
Yeah, I've had many instances where my heel has fell off the bottom, and so I super glue it up. Just something to get me home. Absolutely.
That's interesting.
I got to get it together. All right, guys. So, well, we talked about love, Valentine's Day, and hot sauce and what Red Lobster can do. But what if, BJ and Patrick, what if, well, this is a weird way to question this. Let's say you're at a funeral. God forbid, rest in peace. You're at a funeral, and the person whose funeral that you go to ends up showing up. She ain't really dead. Her husband, there was an incident, guys, where a woman's husband she showed up at her own funeral.
Yes.
And it wasn't because, why else would you show up at your funeral? The husband plotted her death. He hired a hitman to kill his wife, and then the hitman ended up just telling the wife, look, your husband tried to kill you. So she ended up showing up the day of her memorial.
Yes.
Wait, who was in the casket?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Y'all, this took place in Melbourne, Australia, and it's so interesting. The wife, which is Noella Rakundo, said that she showed up to her funeral, and her husband, who is Belenga Kalala, he said, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I look into myself, I said, is this a ghost? Is this a ghost? And this is a ghost. I cannot believe it. I look to my left and I see, is this her? Could she be real? So, I mean, literally, this is what she said. So he walked up. He said, I have to go touch the ghost, put my hand on her. And she said, the husband walked up and touched her and said, are you a ghost? And she said, no, you tried to kill me. And then they arrested him. But he literally tried to feign ignorance. But the thing is, when they kidnapped her, they actually played for her his voice saying, okay, kill her. You have her. Get the money. Get it done. I'm done. I got to go. So when she was on the news, a lot of people were saying, like, how did you feel? And the wife, Noella Rakundo, said she was very hurt because she has been married to this man 10 years.
Jeez.
And he paid $7,000 to kidnap her.
Wait, did they even say why?
They didn't. The hitman obviously had morals that they did not want to kill a woman. This lady has 3 kids in Burundi. Yeah. They didn't believe in killing women, so they let her go. And they actually let her go with evidence of that they paid him $7,000 to kill her.
Wait, so unless laws are different in Australia, that $7,000 was both of theirs. So did she get her money back when he went to jail?
Kidnappers kept that money. They let her go with like a cell phone.
That's really smart because first of all, the person who paid them, you ain't gonna snitch on me because you're gonna go get arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. They don't have to kill nobody, and then they just got $7,000.
Right. And here he is having a fake funeral, and she show up
crying and stuff.
I mean, I cannot. Please, I tell you, I thought you're a ghost. I mean, and she literally said that he walked up with his hands outreach, trying to touch her. Get out my face.
I don't know what I would do, y'all. Trying to get somebody killed is crazy. I don't know what I would do if I would see that person again. I don't even know if I could hold it together. I think the moment he reached his hand out to touch me, I would have grabbed it and broke his arm or something. It's crazy to me.
I mean, after 10 years, what can you do to a person in 10 years that will make you want to pay to have them kidnapped and murdered?
If we could possibly segue fortunately she lived. But you know, it sounds crazy to think that somebody would kill somebody over something so petty, but unfortunately there are extremely petty things that people will end lives for.
That's true.
So there is a story, we got this from the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. It's a triple murder over hair weave.
Yeah, this happened in Memphis.
Yes, and it says that two teens had slayed and killed a weave hair salesman, his wife, and his unborn child over a struggle for a good hair.
Yeah, and the person who did it is a teenager, 18 years old, and she murdered basically an entire family.
Yeah.
All over a bundle.
It says
a bundle. Well, it doesn't go into detail, but it basically was about hair weave.
It says that she was addicted to about $300 worth of bundled hair. And, so she killed somebody over three.
Yeah, they said it was over an unsatisfied dispute she had with the shop's owner. And she staked them out, waited for them, and then murdered them.
Yeah, they said that they shot 16 times.
So she thought about this for a while.
Yeah, or spur of the moment. But what is going on? I've heard of people slaying, but not becoming slayers. Like literally taking someone's life over hair. Because, child, who gonna see your hair now? Who gonna come check for you in prison other than Big Shirley? Nobody.
Ooh, I'm sorry, but I always wondered that. Like, I think we spoke earlier about this man who killed his baby's mom because he didn't want to pay her $600 a month in child support. It's like, what do you think past this process? Like, after it's all said and done, do you think, whew, I'm out $600. Oh, whew, I got my Remy weave. Do you not know that you're going to go to jail and your life is over after this?
Like, for the rest of your life, you straight up, if you was watching Orange is the New Black, you the new crazy eyes. I mean, I don't think they don't think. That's why I say you have to think before you act. Yeah. And that's on anything. I mean, especially when it comes to murdering somebody. Just if you have a complaint, be civilized. Go on Yelp and write a bad review or take them to court.
Yeah.
But you don't go get a gun and stake out someone and kill the whole family.
Chat for some hair weave.
Well, I mean, she ain't got to worry about it now, so.
She sure don't.
Because guess what? Prison, they don't allow hair weave.
They sure don't.
So what you don't have, what you have, honey, is what you have.
I mean, that is
an unborn child. I mean, I think murder is just crazy, period. But when you see a pregnant woman and you just have no mercy for her life or the child's life, I can't imagine. Like, girl, like your hair must have been really mussed out. I don't know what. I can't even give you an excuse at this point.
It sounds like one of those. Remember Dave Chappelle, Keeping It Real? When Keeping It Real
goes wrong. That's like she hyped herself up so much to the point where she couldn't go back. But it's never that deep, ever.
So hopefully, I'm pretty sure she'll get life in prison, if not the death penalty. And I'm all for this. I'm very much an eye for an eye type of person. And especially with something so petty like this.
Track for a track.
Yes, absolutely. So moving on to something a little bit funnier. There's a movie in the making, guys. I don't know if you guys remember this. This was a big sensation about this this Twitter story. Like, Twitter is getting a little bit different than what it was. You can only write 144 characters per tweet. So somebody wrote like a massive 80 tweets trying to tell the story about this stripper named Zola.
Ridiculous.
Did you hear about that story?
No, but...
Okay, it was a stripper named Zola who went down to Florida with her friend, and it was a crazy situation with a pimp and the boyfriend trying to commit suicide. It was ridiculous. It was so crazy. Wow. All you guys have to do is Google Zola and stripper, and then the story will pop up. So the actor George Franco was actually planning on making a movie out of the Zola stripper saga.
Really?
James Franco. What did I say, George?
I love James Franco. I just think I really respect him as an actor and as a director.
Who is James Franco?
James Franco, as you know, he played the Green Goblin's son in Spider-Man.
Yeah. And
he was also in the True Story, which is a movie he filmed about a true story. And he's been in several comedies and dramas.
He's also pretty experimental, or he's
really?
Yeah, he's not. He's done a couple of I don't want to say odd, but experimental things that in film.
Oh yeah.
So
I saw Spring Breakers.
He's probably going somewhere with that. Yeah.
Did you see that film? He had cornrows. In Spring Breakers, James Franco was in Spring Breakers.
Now I think he means a little bit more than cornrows.
Well, and he had a grill too.
Now, did you see when him and Seth Rogen had remade Bound to? Kanye West is Bound to?
No.
Yeah. So they was kissing and all that stuff. It was weird.
I like
First
James
of all,
Franco.
both the first Bound and the Bound 2 are both weird.
This is going to be interesting to see how he's going to play it.
Yeah. So the whole saga was extremely crazy. Who knows if it's true or not, because the girl, okay, so it's two girls, black girl and white girl. The black girl is Zola. I don't know if she's black or Hispanic, but the white girl is Jessica. And they both were strippers. And apparently Jessica was like, come on, Zola, let's go to Miami and we're going to make this money. And so they get to Miami and Jessica was like, oh, well, I have this boyfriend who came with them. They met up with this pimp. Jessica started turning tricks. Zola was apparently helping Jessica turn tricks without actually turning tricks. And somebody got shot and killed. It was a crazy saga. It was crazy.
I'm not really familiar on the stripper protocol, but can you cross line stripping, or is that something like you have to have a license? Do you have to like register when you go somewhere to strip, or can you just kind of go somewhere and just jump on anybody's
only
stage?
For the state, actually. I think it is a state by state thing.
Because I know some states allow certain exposure and other states do not. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
I know. I have a girlfriend who will remain nameless, but we might get her on the show. She's a dancer, which is so funny because she used to work in television, and I was like, ooh, that's a different career change, but go ahead, girl. Anyways, I was like, you know me, I'm curious, so hopefully you're comfortable. Let's talk about this. I said, so do you make a lot of money? And she broke it down like who you have to pay by the end of the night. You got to pay the DJ, you got to pay the bartender, you got to pay the house mom, you got to pay the security, you got to pay your tax, and you have to pay for your license. So she might dance and make like $500 that night and then walk away with like 80.
Well, that's why, you know what? If you equate the people you have to pay out based on the size of the booty, that's why they,
one bigger, yeah.
Exactly, because I guess that will attract more people. But why do you have to pay the DJ? Is he dancing, or I don't get that?
I don't know, but yeah, she got to pay him out.
And
at first I was like, ooh, maybe, being a house mom ain't that bad, but I forgot what the house mom's responsibilities are. Bend down, spread them cheeks, let me check you.
What?
Yeah, that's what they do. They gotta make sure.
Where are we?
What is this? Yes.
No, they gotta make sure.
Grey's Anatomy?
That you clean and smell good. I can't do that.
Well, that's a whole nother side of life that I'm not even familiar with. That's like going to the foreign food section at Kroger. I look at it, I peek, but I do not walk through. So.
Absolutely. So, this was a very, very interesting Twitter story. So I would look forward to the movie if it possibly comes out by James Franco. Yeah. But guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you keep it here because we have more coming up. Now it is Chase featuring Foxy Brown. Touch Me, Tease Me. All right, everybody, welcome back to The Real with Rachel D. That was Case. I said Chase before. I meant Case featuring Foxy Brown, Touch Me, Tease Me. That was an old school one. Mm-hmm. That reminded me of the good days when music was really, really good. Okay. So, of course, I'm being joined by my super fabulous co-host, Miss BJ.
Hello.
And the producer extraordinaire, Mr. Patrick. Hey. All right, guys, it's time to wind down the show. But before I do, what are we getting into this weekend? The silence.
It's so much going on, though.
It's Valentine's Day weekend.
That means nothing to me.
Oh, it don't? Oh, excuse me, Pat. Anything going on in your area?
No.
All right, guys. There are a bunch of lame bums in the room. If you need something to get into, I don't know what I'm getting into this weekend, but if you need something to get into, the circus is back in town in Atlanta and in Duluth. So I'm going to give you guys something to get into this weekend. For Valentine's Day, we have some tickets to the circus, the Ringling Brothers Circus Extreme. It's a spectacular show with acrobats, with animals, music, dance acts, and nonstop entertainment. Ooh. And that's going to go until February 15th in Atlanta. And then also you can catch it again from February 18th to the 28th in Duluth. Discount tickets are $23. And another thing I told you guys last week I was very excited about, the Moulin Rouge Ballet. Yeah. I love that, especially with it being Valentine's Day, very romantic with love. And it is a story of a young love and rising stardom set in Paris Cabaret, and that's going to be at the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. Is that something you'd be interested in? No, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, if you're not,
yeah.
There's another thing you might possibly be interested in. It's called Pop Erotica Show.
Oh, I like pop rocks.
No. Pop Erotica.
Is that French?
Something like that. It's a sweet spot. The sweet spot is a high energy celebration of sexy arts that includes spoken words, burlesque dancing, body painting, comedy, fashion, and DJ music. And that's going to be at 595 North Event Center. And that's for ages 21 and up.
Bring hand sanitizer.
Absolutely, guys. There are tons and tons of things to get into. So to find out more information and to find out more things, because I see cupcakes and I see improvs and I see a cemetery tour. I'm not sure if you're interested.
How you go from love to death?
Yo, it's called the Valentine's Day Cemetery Tour. No, so yeah,
that sounds like a setup.
That sounds like a setup.
It really does. But you know something? If you're not really in a Valentine's Day move, let's say you're single. There's an oyster fest. Oyster Fest has live music with oysters and shrimps for sale at the Park Taverns.
So I'm just sitting around eating oysters lonely?
Pretty much. The Steam House Lounge. So it also holds the Oyster Fest. That's going to be on it's actually going to be on February 13th, but again on February 27th and 29th, and those are 21 and up, and that goes from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m., and you guys can find out more information and discounts on event12s.com.
Cool.
All right, guys, time to wrap up. But before we go, Miss BJ, what is the hashtag of the week?
This is Miss BJ from The Real with Rachel D, and it is time for the hashtag of the week. Okay, guys, so this hashtag of the week has nothing to do with what we've discussed, but it's a safety one. The hashtag is hashtag Twinkie. So let me tell you what hashtag Twinkie is. Hashtag Twinkie is, we've all had the little Twinkies that come individually wrapped, correct? So this is a smart way to realize that on the weekend, even though it's Valentine's Day, please keep your Twinkies wrapped. Because if they don't care enough about you to give you an unwrapped Twinkie, then they do not deserve your love. Because I'm saying anything that matters to you when you get out the store is wrapped, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if your love ain't worth the price of a Twinkie, you need to find somebody else.
Right.
So hashtag Twinkie, y'all.
Okay, so no babies for me, huh?
No babies, no nothing else. Because we don't want you walking right on the weekend and limping and scratching next week.
Oh.
It's just be safe about it.
Absolutely. So hashtag what?
Twinkie.
Twinkie.
Am I saying it right?
Twinkie.
Is it? I'm saying an A.
Twinkie.
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 Hashtag Twinkie.
All right. So, guys, any last words, Mr. Patrick?
Miss BJ, I think you have an announcement about your show coming up.
Oh yes. February 12th, I will be doing a spoken word for the local Clayton County Library System's Black History Month. So check out your local library to find out where it's going to be.
Don't check out your local library.
Right.
Go
check out Clayton County Library's website,
Yes.
and it will give you information on the spoken word. We're going to drop some hot fire, some slayness.
Yes.
16.
You're right. Get
16s.
information.
Go to claytonpl.org for more information. Don't ask how I know that information. But guys, I mean, if you're tuning in and you were looking for Rodney Perry will be joining us on March 13th. So make sure to come back next week anyways, and make sure you tune in on March 13th to see him. And we want to thank you as always for listening in to The Real with Rachel D. And a quick reminder that we're on social media and we will be having more and more tickets to give away. So make sure you join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. And for my super fabulous producer, Mr. Patrick, my super fabulous co-host, Miss BJ, and myself, Miss Rachel D, we are signing out.
We're going to leave you with Iggy Azalea featuring Rita Ora with Black Widow.